Welcome back to Code. And so guys, I hope you all are taking care of yourself and having a lovely time and enjoying all the videos that I'm posting for you. So guys, in this today lesson we are going to discuss about some of the data types of SQL. What are the different types of statement that we use in SQL? What are the different symbols that we use in SQL? And what is the create table command? And what are the different type of constraints that are available in create table command? So we are going to discuss this each and everything in a detailed form. So guys, if you're new to my channel, please do like it, share, subscribe to my channel. Already on my YouTube channel, I posted short videos for you, which is the Excel tricks, C, C++, Python, HTML, Java, and other important videos that are really useful for you. So if you like the content that I post, please do like it, share, subscribe to my channel, and also let me know in the comment section what do you want in the upcoming videos, and also do stay tuned with the videos so that you get to know each and everything detailed and easy manner. So let's get started with the video without wasting any time and understand the concept of create table and the constraints available with it. Moving to any of the things that is the constraints or the create table command, we must know that SQL involves some data types involved. So when I'm talking about the data type, basically it tells us the type of data associated with the thing that we are using in the SQL query. So basically there are different types of data type, that is text, exact number, and some approximate values or some other thing. So basically when I am talking about a text is basically defined with the char, that is called as a character. As you can see on the screen also, this is a desired table that I have presented in front of you, so that you need to know that what do you mean by different data types and what is the basic purpose. I'm just going to tell you the overview. We are going to use this data type in the table, and then it will be easy for you to understand that how we use in SQL queries. Second is the DEC, that is the decimal, basically used to represent fractional values. That is numerical. Numerical value means similar to the decimal value but exceeding a precision argument. Then we have integer values, which involves the decimal value and the set of implementation dependent values. Then we have small int, float, real, double precision. So these are some of the data type that we usually use in a SQL query, or whenever we are using a SQL create table or whatever command that we are going to use. Whenever we are talking about some queries, so first of all, the main things that we need to keep in mind while executing a query is some of the symbols, because basically the symbols is something that creates a statement, and also it is something that which helps us to find out that how the query is going to work, and sometimes this is the only thing which leads us to errors. So basically these are some of the symbols that are available to you on the screen. This is the meaning of that particular symbol and which is the symbol. First one, we have a line that is a symbolic way of saying or, that is whatever precedes this symbol may be optionally replaced by whatever it follows it. Second, we have curly braces. It is a unit of purpose for evaluating other symbols. Basically everything included in curly braces will evaluate the expression within that curly braces. Second, we have square bracket. It may be enclosed or may not be enclosed. It is an optional part. Next, we have some dotted line, that is maybe repeated number of statement. Then we have dot with commas, basically used to separate the different statements and executed. Then we have angular braces, SQL and other special terms used in the angular braces. Basically these are some of the symbols that we are going to use in the syntax of different kinds of SQL statements. So coming to the very first query that we are going to perform whenever we want to perform anything on a table. So basically when we want to perform anything on a table, first you need to create that table. So for that we have a create table command. So basically what is the create table commands? Table are defined with the help of the create table command. When a table is created, its columns are named, data types and sizes are provided to it. So basically this is the purpose of a create table command. Each table must have at least one column. Means if we are going to create a table, at least it should have one column, then only we can create a table. So coming to the syntax of a create table command, how do we write create table? First of all, we write create table, then the name of the table name, and then what we are going to use, we are going to use the round brackets in which what we are going to write column name and the data type associated with it. Then again the column name, data type, as many number of columns that we want to add, the data type of it, the size of it, accordingly separated with the comma and ending with the round braces. So let's take an example over here. So as you can see in the example, I want to create a table employee. So basically want the employee that e code, e names, its sex, grade, gross salary, everything. So what I will do, create table employee, e code integer, comma e name character 20, comma the sex of that employee, comma the grade of that employee, the comma gross salary. Basically this will be performed, and according to that I have given integer, character, and then decimal, basically telling me that what is the desired associated data type executed with that desired create table. So this is the way that we create a table. Next thing that we involve in while creating a table is we need to perform some constraint. So when I'm talking about a constraint, what do we mean by a constraint? As you can see on the screen, whenever I'm talking about a constraint is a condition or a check applicable to on a field or a set of fields. Basically, what do we mean? We need to set a particular check on a field or a set of fields so that to perform that only based upon this condition the thing will work. The two basic types of constraint are column constraint and table constraint. So the basic difference between the two is column constraint apply only to individual columns, whereas table constraint applies to group of one or more column. So basically this is the purpose of using a constraint. So basically we have divided the constraint into four parts: unique, primary key, default, and the check constraint. Now we are going to understand one by one what do we mean by different type of constraint. So the number one constraint that we have is the unique constraint. So basically when I'm talking about the unique constraint, this constraint ensures that no two rows have the same value in the specified column. For example, unique constraint applied on E code of employee table ensure that no rows have the same code E code shown as the value given below. As you can see over here, a table I have curated over here, create table employee E code integer. Basically all the contents that I have taken already in the previous table that I have created. There I have written not null. In with that I have written unique. So now here what we can see, we have multiple not null and unique constraints here have been applied only on one column by putting space in between. The comma comes in the end of the column definition. Basically I am just applying the unique constraint only to one single thing. But here you can see there are a number of not null characters, but I am just applying to one single thing. So that means only the unique constraint will be applied to which thing? That is the E code. This constraint can be applied only to the column that also been declared not null. However, this condition is implementation dependent. Like based upon the implementation how we require, we are going to use this constraint. The next kind of constraint is the primary constraint. The primary key constraint is similar to the unique key constraint. The constraint is different based upon only one thing, that only one column can be applied in the tray. The primary keys cannot allow null values. Thus, this constraint must be applied to column declared as not null. Means the whenever I am talking about a primary constraint, it cannot be applied to any null values, just but only to the not null value. Similar to example I have taken over here, E code integer not null, and then in the constraint what I have written, treat this as a primary key and not on the other thing. If it was null, then in that case I could not apply this constraint to the E code that I have added a column in the create table employee. So basically primary key is similar, but it is can only be applied to not null only, and whenever I have applied a constraint, it will be divided with space and ended with the comma to move to the next query or begin the next statement in the SQL command. The next kind of constraint is a default constraint. Basically, a default value can be specified for a column using the default clause. When a user does not enter a value for a column, then the automatically defined default value will be executed. So post say, as you can see on the example over here, in the grade what I have written, default equals to E1. Means if any no other grade is been available, so automatically the default grade, that is E1, will be printed when it gets no values from the user. So this is the basically purpose of the default constraint, just assigning a default value when no other values is present. Next kind of constraint that we have available is the check constraint. Basically a check constraint is used to limit the values that can be inserted in the column of a table. Basically what is the purpose of the check constraint? As you can see here, over here I've written gross decimal, and in the return I've written check gross is greater than 2000. Means only those value will be included which are more than 2000. The less than the 2000 value will not be included at all into it. So basically it is a constraint that is set that the value that is to be inserted should be more than 2000, otherwise it will not be inserted. Based upon that we can set any of the condition that we want to perform. So we can use either in it, description in, or we can use between, or we can use or we can use like. Based upon the types what we are going to use, we can use that based upon that constraint. So you will be more clear about the different kind of constraints when we perform more types of queries and more type of things in the upcoming examples and upcoming SQL query. So for now I just explained you the create table and as well as the constraints. So in this lesson we have discussed about the different kinds of data types that are available, different kinds of constraint. How do we use the create table command in SQL, and how do we create a table with it. I'm going to show you the implementation in the coming video, and also the other things that we are using in the SQL query, with our different SQL queries that we are going to use and different commands we are going to use. This is the question that is displayed on your screen. You need to solve this and let me know in the comment section how will we create the table what will be the desired query that we are going to write whenever I want to create this kind of table. So guys, if you like the content that I post, please do like it, share, subscribe to my channel, and also share it as much as possible. And also you can follow me on my Instagram page. The link is in the bio. And keep supporting, keep smiling, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.